It's Friday, December 27th, 2024. We're coming down to the end of the year here. I hope everybody had a really good Christmas. We've had a very restful and enjoyable Christmas. We've been out to a couple little dinner parties, and we had turkey dinner for Christmas, and just had a really good time. Just enjoying downtime together at home. And let me show you what I got for Christmas. I got exactly what I asked for. So this is not my Christmas gift, but this will help explain my Christmas gift. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me use my dado blade or my dado set or my dado stack or stack dado blade, different names that people call this. So it's a couple of blades, and then it's got chippers that go between the blades to make different widths. It makes grooves, different width grooves. Now, there's a couple of different things about this one. This is the old one. I've had it for quite a few years, and I've sharpened it a few times. It's kind of expensive to sharpen because it's got the two blades and the chippers, and they all have to be sharpened exactly the same diameter. And the place I use does do a good job, but you can't sharpen it too often because it starts to get smaller diameter. So it's getting really ragged, and it really needs to be sharpened again. The design of this dado blade is a little bit not ideal. So what this has got is got the blade here, the blade tooth there, and then it's got this raker here. It's kind of a safety thing, so you don't get kickback as easily. Now, the saw stop doesn't recommend using this dado set because of that, because this could prevent the brake from activating. It doesn't prevent it from activating, prevents it from digging in and doing its job the way it's designed when it is activated. I've never had a dado activate, so I haven't had that problem. I decided to use Christmas as a way to solve those problems. I got a brand new dado blade here. And this one actually says on it that it's made for saw stop saws. And how that's the main difference is there's no raker on the chipper, right? So that will dig into that brake properly. And yeah, so I'm really happy about that. That'll help me with my work this year. It'll make the cuts a lot nicer and a lot smoother, make a nicer job. So that was my Christmas gift from my wife, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you, dear. Other than that, we've just been relaxing here. There's not much going on. This is going to be a very, very short vlog. I'll tell you about the weather this week. It's been very warm here. We've had a southerly flow. The temperatures have been slightly below freezing or slightly above. Today it was 1 degree. Not sunny, but the snow is melting outside. So it's kind of nice. I always like to see snow melt, but it does get icy and whatnot. So, you have to watch where you walk and watch careful where you drive, because the snow gets up on the highway. It causes it to be slippery. So I haven't been out to see the bees out back. The days are so short here. By the time I figure I should go out, it's starting to get dark again. It gets dark in the middle of the afternoon. But, we're post-solstice now, so the days are slowly getting longer. About a minute a day right now. They're getting longer. And so we're going to get a little bit of snow the coming days, but that's okay. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here where it's safe and warm and dry. The bee barn, it's venting, so that means there's live bees in there, which is nice. I don't know that they're all live. We'll see. And, there's nothing I can do about that until spring anyway. So I'm going to leave you with that today. And I'm actually going to leave you with a little project here that I did. That's not wood shop and not bee related, but it's just a little project you might find interesting. And that's all I have. That's all I have before next year. So the next time you hear from me, it will be 2025. And so I hope you all have a really enjoyable New Year's Eve, and that 2025 is way better than the last 9 years in Canada. I'm pretty sure it's going to start to improve here pretty fast. So I'll leave you with that for now. I so much appreciate you watching. Take care and have fun. I'm preparing to perform surgery on this mouse. It got so that my scroll wheel was ineffective. It still moves, but it doesn't have any effect on the computer. And this has happened before. Anybody who lives with cats, or I suppose even dogs, but I think cats are maybe even a little bit worse, will know that the cat hair gets in everything. And I think over time, the little fine hairs from the cat get in the wheel mechanism. You know, there might be a hair or two on there, and when I roll it, then it gets inside. And over time, it just builds up. Now the problem here, I did take this apart one other time, and there's all kinds of little tiny parts in there. See, there's all kinds of hair in it. Yeah, it's tricky how it goes together. I try to do it without taking the wheel out, but I don't think I can. I can't pull that hair off the wheel. You can't even see that far away, but there's a spring here and a spring on the other side that create the detent system as you move the wheel. And when I pull that wheel out of there, those springs are gonna fall out. I did get it back together properly the last time. What I'm going to do is I'll take a picture of that so I can have a record of how that's put together, because I definitely have to pull that wheel out of there to get the hair out. Look at the ball of hair there. I don't want that spring to come out. I know it's going to come out, but okay, so the hairball came out, but so did the spring. Yikes. It's hard to do with big old fingers. So I have to get this spring back on the little axle and then push down into the keeper. Oh boy. I'm not sure how to do that. I did it before. Okay. There it is. It's in there. Okay. Now, why do you suppose that would have prevented the mouse from, you know, the signal that it makes when you roll the wheel was interrupted? Why is that? Oh, I can see why that is now. It's hard to see, but the side of the wheel is perforated. It has little tiny slots in it. And down at the bottom, I know you can't see very well. I can hardly see it. There's little slots in that wheel, right here. And down in the bottom here, you can hardly see, down underneath there's a sensor. And there'd be a little light on one side, a little sensor on the other. And the sensor watching the light flicker as it goes is what makes the cursor or scroll. It's the scrolling mechanism that doesn't work, which is a big pain. I've actually run some websites. They're very poorly made because they depend on the scroll. If you can't scroll with your wheel, you can't use the website. Websites need to make sure they have scroll bars on the side for situations where a scroll wheel is not present or, active or be able to use. So that's it. Thankfully, it didn't come right out this time. I think the last time I did this, I just yanked this whole thing out and the springs went everywhere. So you can see there's a switch down in here, switch down in there that when I push the wheel for clicking, I don't use that mechanism much, but then these switches here are the left and right mouse switches, the little LED in the pickup for the I don't know what you call it, the laser mouse thing. We used to have years ago, you'd have a ball that rolled around. And then they went to the laser mouse style. I don't imagine anybody makes that ball style anymore. You can get my favorite kind of mouse is a trackball, and Logitech makes it. This is a Logitech mouse. And I've had quite a few of them over the years. They're not cheap. They're $50 to $75. And you don't have to move your hand. You have two mouse buttons, and then you have a ball that you roll around with your thumb. It's not quite as fast as a mouse like this, but you don't get that fatigue in your wrist like you do constantly moving. And one of the big problems with a mouse is you're constantly holding your fingers up like this using the mouse, and then you're pressing the buttons. That causes a lot of strain in your hand. I've had a lot of pain over the years in my hand, my arm, all the way to my neck because of using a mouse. So I remember where I was working, I insisted that I have a trackball mouse like that just because of that pain in my hand. Okay, well, I can snap this back together. It looks like the surgery was successful. It's always funny to try to find what holds it together. Snaps in the front, I guess, because there's only one screw in the back. Right there. It's not an expensive mouse, Mouse quits working, sometimes you just go and throw it in the garbage and go get another one. But, I hate throwing things in garbage. Get enough stuff in the garbage, it's not good for anybody. So there we go. I'm confident that'll work just fine now. It'll be good to have the scroll wheel back. I decided to come in the bee barn and maybe lift a few lids to see what's going on. I was laughing at Ian. He was lifting some lids and he lifted a whole bunch, and then he said, okay, I'll just lift 2 more. And then 10 more later, he says, well, okay, just do 1 more. And then he did another half a dozen. I thought that was so funny. Anyway, I'm going to get my, this is my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder. We'll use the white light until we get stung in the face. There's bees there. That looks really good. There's not a lot of bees at the back here. but it's a nice looking cluster. It's not real big. Oh, I can hear them. Yeah, a little bit bigger cluster. You may notice those pads. Those are some of the formic acid pads I was using that I didn't take out. Not a big deal. Yeah, this one's pooping. Now, this cluster's not very big. This one's dead. Oh, it's not dead. There's an appy tablet on that one. Fully propolised appy tablet. Now, there's some nukes here. A little cluster there. My fan is ramping up because my temperature sensor is over here. Right beside me. I'm touching it, so I'm warming it up. Oh, that one's dead. They are done. Don't need too much of that. Well, that's disappointing too. Well, there's bees walking around in there, but not very many. Check out these two polys that are sitting here. There's bees there. The cluster's at the front. A little poopy, but the population looks good.